Hello, everyone, and welcome to Introduction to Literature. I'll be your instructor this semester, Erin O'Keefe. You can find more about me in the module. Every week, I will be creating a new video that will just go over what you need to anticipate for that module. A lot of times, students will have questions as they look through the module information, and I will end up answering those questions in these videos, so they're really important to watch every week. So when you navigate through the class, first page, you're going to see recent announcements. I try to post at least 2 per week. And then there's also information down here at the bottom on how to contact me. I do include my cell phone for texting, but if you want to call me, call my office number. I'm more likely to actually return your phone call that way. But texting is fine, or email is probably even better. So when you first get into the class, make sure that you're checking for recent announcements. And then for this first day, make sure that you are getting into the syllabus. So the syllabus has all the policies for the class. If you've taken a class with me before, the policies will feel similar. At Allen, we have this simple syllabus feature in Canvas, which means that we can see which students have actually read the syllabus and how much they've read. So make sure that you are scrolling through the entire syllabus and that you are aware of all of the policies. For this class, the important policies are going to be down here, the late work policy, as well as I have a vacation policy, and then an academic honesty and AI use policy, which I'll talk more about in a little bit. So at the very bottom then is a screen or a little button that says you've acknowledged that you've read the syllabus. It's really important that you click on that, because that just tells the college that you have read the syllabus, you're aware of it, and that kind of thing. So most of the time, though, you'll just click on the modules tab to get into the class. We've got a couple of modules at the beginning that you only have to do once, and then the modules will start to open up. So you can see module 1 is closed right now. You can't access anything, and that's because you have to go through the academic honesty module first. You also need to click on the Get Started. If you're new to Allen, this first page here, it just gives you information about how to access everything. So that's really important for our students who are new. If it may look the same as something that you've looked at before if you've taken classes before, but you want to make sure that you are going through that, so you have that checked off, and then you can access the first module. So academic honesty module also is about AI use, and it's really important that you go through all of this and read all of this information. So there's kind of an overview of what we consider ethical use here at Allen, and then some more information on what is considered academically dishonest and cheating versus plagiarism. There are some similarities. We see a lot more plagiarism, obviously, in English classes, and then that use of AI, which has kind of taken over everything. Consequences, and then how to avoid it, more information, and then there's some scenarios here. This first one is one that you may have found yourself in, using ChatGPT to help you rewrite sections of your work, how much of that is considered academically dishonest, that kind of thing. And then there are a couple of other scenarios to read through, and then I have more information on Turnitin, and then more information on AI. So the Turnitin page just tells you what the little flag means when you submit an essay, and then just to keep in mind, and I might add this to the slide, Turnitin does not let you see the AI report. It just lets you see the plagiarism report. So the only person who can see the AI part is the instructor. I don't know why that is. It's kind of annoying, actually. But just keep that in mind, that is from the instructor viewpoint. We also have an AI report. So there's more information on that, and then this is all the information on AI use, and then the assignment levels that I have that are also in the syllabus. So I know this is a lot, especially on the first day getting into the class, but just keep in mind you can come back to this slide whenever you need to. Really important that you look through all of this, because my AI policy is very specific, and it's going to be different from your other classes. So basically every assignment that you have will be assigned a use level. If you go more than that use level allows, then you will be penalized grade-wise. And there's more information on penalties down here. Now, there are some assignments that allow for AI use, and so you want to make sure that you're paying attention to, like, level 1 is just kind of, I used Grammarly to check my grammar and make sure I didn't have any mistakes, versus level 3, part of the assignment is actually generated by AI. So just keep in mind that level will change based on the assignment and the directions. Everything should be clearly spelled out. There will not be an assignment where you have to use AI. I always give an option not to. If you don't want to, that's fine. And then all these grades and penalty information down here is important. And the main thing I want to point out, which I've been trying to emphasize a lot, is make sure you're saving things in multiple drafts. Basically, I want you to get in the habit of being able to prove that your writing is your own, because you're going to need this in the future anyway. At some point, you'll have to prove your humanity. So make sure that you are saving as multiple drafts. So you get the first draft of whatever you're writing and you haven't done any revision at all. So it's all your like squirrel brain, ideas. And then you copy and paste it into a new file and you save it separately before you start making those changes. And what that does is then allows you to keep track of where you're at. It shows your progress as a writer, but it also means that you have proof then if you're falsely accused of AI use. The other thing you can do is use Google Docs because that does track your typing. And so you can make an instructor like an editor in your Google Doc, and then they can see what you've done. So just keep that in mind, that you may have to prove that you wrote something and you need to have that proof. Confirmation of understanding, mark as done when you've read through this, basically saying, I understand the policy. I don't have any questions about it. If you do have questions, make sure that you're sending me an email. So once you've done that, you've gone through the whole module, everything's checked green. Now module 1 opens up. The modules in this class open one at a time, and the next module will open usually the Friday before the previous one is due. So you do have a few extra days to work ahead if you're that kind of student, but you can't work ahead too far. And the reason is because I can't grade that fast. So I want everyone to be about at the same spot in the class at the same time. So you do have a little bit on one end or the other to work ahead or behind, but just keep that in mind. You will not be able to, I'm not going to open the whole class and let somebody get all the way through the class on the first day. That's way too much. I cannot grade that fast. And that's my personal preference as an instructor. So you've got 3 assignments to work on here at the beginning and plus some readings to do. So I've got the readings page. Each module will have a readings and resources, and I usually include a video. It's not usually required, but it is kind of nice to have. If those of you who are like auditory visual learners, this is a great way to just get additional information. The textbook, you want to make sure that first day you get into the class, you click on the textbook, because if you can't access it, then we need to figure out why. It is a Cengage book. So when you click on it, if you've never logged into a Cengage book before, then it will have you log in with your Allen credentials. And then once you've done that, it should automatically pull up. So the textbook is just called Portable Literature. And then we've got quite a few chapters that you can navigate through on the side. And I'll give you page numbers of what you should be reading. And it's fairly easy to navigate as an ebook. If you want a print copy of the book, there is a way to do that. You'll have to contact the bookstore though. All this introductory information you want to read through. These first couple of chapters are actually going to be tested over in the next module. But for now, your quiz is about academic honesty. So you're going to do 3 introductory assignments. The first is a welcome email that just gives me some of your background with literature and then a goal that you have for the semester. And you'll see each of these assignments has an AI use level, little blurb at the bottom, so you can kind of keep track of where you're at. And most of them will have a rubric that's either something about authentic writing or specific to that assignment. And then as you kind of go through, you'll see that on each assignment. So if you have a question about it, just let me know. Or if you write something and you're not quite sure whether it meets that level, just send me an email, attach it in an email. It's not cheating to ask me. And so next thing you're going to do is academic honesty quiz, just kind of standard. The quizzes in this class, all of them are ones you can take more than once. The exams are ones that you can only take one time. So if it's labeled a quiz, that means you can do it multiple times to get the grade that you want. So do that. And then the last thing in here is just a standard introduction discussion board, just like you've done in your other classes. Try to include a lot about yourself, and then some pictures or something so we see what you look like. And then you'll be done with that for this module. If you have questions, like I said, be sure to send me an email. Otherwise, this introductory stuff should not take you very long. Hopefully, you'll be able to get in and get all this stuff done with a good first week. But if you are struggling at all, make sure that you do reach out. So have a great week.